Hello everyone, welcome to Setco's online tutorial. Today I would like to talk about Popcorn Trail. First of all, I'd like to start off with who am I? I'm an inspirational servant. I inspire hope, faith, and greatness throughout the world. And I'd like to explain how I got there and why that is important to owning your own business or being an entrepreneur. Definition of Popcorn Trail. It is the thrill of happiness you give others by doing what makes you happy and comes easy to you. I'm going to read it again. It's the thrill of happiness you give others by doing what makes you happy and comes easy to you. I tend to think, or I believe, I live confused most of my life, and I've watched others as well. Um, when I was exiting out of the military, I looked up, or I was about to, and I was going to college, and I looked up some jobs in the newspaper in the early 90s, and there was a classified for a computer program, and they're hiring for like $70,000. And I remember I circled that job, and I wrote it up on top of all my homework, all the time. But I went to K State, and I enrolled for computer science because it said you needed a computer science degree, and that's what I did. So I remember taking the first class, and it was Pascal programming. And I remember we sat in like a U-shaped class, and I was at the end of the U, and we had to write a simple loop. Turn the computer on green when you powered it back off and on. Right now, they were currently turning on blue. So I remember each one, and we got actually had a stopwatch. They timed us, and I remember everybody got done in like 20 seconds, 30 seconds writing this loop. And I used all 3 minutes. And I remember he said, okay, everybody turn the computer on. And everybody's turned on. Everybody's blue, 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 blue. Get to mine. And it was green. And I remember just standing up and saying, look, I'm in the wrong class. And I walked out of there. And I walked out of there defeated. It's like, wow, how come everybody got it easy? And everybody, it came easy to them. Why was I struggling? And I found a lot throughout my career and throughout the businesses that I own that I was owning businesses I didn't love. I wasn't very passionate about it. And I was not living on purpose. I was caught up with living the status quo or keeping up with the Joneses. I was busy living from a task list. I kept busy so I didn't have to think about the emptiness that was inside of me. I was confused. I had so many ideas, so many opportunities coming at me. I was really confused on which one to take. Self-esteem. I always felt like I wasn't good enough because I was always chasing things that didn't fit who I was and constantly trying to prove things to people. Control. I always had to put on a facade of control like I had things in control when I was really lost. Following my popcorn trail, my high school reunion, after 10 years high school reunion, I bumped into a young lady who we were good friends, and she sat behind me in through junior high and high school, and she told me that I wrote something in a yearbook that really touched her life, and I was kind of like she was really talking to me passionately, and I was kind of like I don't know uncomfortable in the sense that people keep telling me this, and I said, well, I don't even remember what I wrote to you. We were 17 years. I was 17 years old, and I was pretty lost and confused and didn't know what I wrote, but she said I wrote something that really touched her that she went back to often, and it just kind of left me there like wow. And then I built a company, a multi-million dollar company that was profitable. And not only was it profitable, it didn't need me there to run it. So I had all this free time to think and to realize that after my money needs and my health and all the other needs were met, um, I just felt like, wow, this is not what I want to do. And that was really a big turning point in my first company. The passing of my uncle. My uncle passed away, God rest his soul, and I saw my cousin there. I haven't seen in like 20 years. She used to babysit me when I was a little kid, and she came up and just was just saying my name over and over again. She's like, oh my gosh, you were so positive." She said the whole world was coming down. You were just the most positive kid. She gave me a big hug and kiss and told me stories about how I was such a positive kid and I was always smiling and yeah, and I used to put crayons up her nose when she fell asleep. So yeah, I always had a mischievous side too. I'm firing my employee, and anybody who's owned a business and had employees, I don't know, it's one of the toughest things you'll ever do. At least it was for me. But I fired an employee, and he emailed me back maybe 3 months later, 4 months later, and told me thank you. And I was expecting a nasty email when I opened it up. And he just told me for thank you for being inspiring him, giving him the push that he need, that he's chasing his dreams. He's going into he wanted to be an interior designer, and he enrolled in school. And not only did he do that, he also got a job being an interior designer. He said he lost a lot of weight, and he quit smoking, and he's just happy with his life. And he thanked me, and I was like, wow. I was like looking around, I was like, okay, who's the next employee I can let go? But all jokes aside, it was very reassuring, and that's where the real turning point for me was. Now there was a lot more events that happened throughout my life. For time's sake, I just picked four recent events starting from childhood. But what that saying is that really led to me is like I'm inspiring people when I'm not even trying, and that's what led me to that title that I'm an inspirational servant. But even knowing that, when I was 30 some years old, I didn't pursue it, because of fear. It could be fear of, money, whatever. For me, it was fear of criticism. I mean, can you imagine being in a network meeting or being in a meeting and saying, "Hi, I'm a lawyer, I'm a marketing director, I'm a director of finances, I'm an accountant," and you get to me and, "Oh, I'm an inspirational servant." I mean, immediately people put the Blackberries down or the smartphones and look at like, who is this guy, and I was really for the fear of criticism that stopped me. And I just feel like I was dying inside once I realized what I really wanted to do, and I didn't pursue it. I had all these funks and these depressions. I was fussing over petty things. I was pushing away the things, pushing away the people who loved me most. I knew I was confused. I didn't want to go back to the corporate world, but I didn't want to do the military again. Didn't want to just start any new business. So I just come off of a couple failed businesses, and I was really in the mix of what am I supposed to do, and I was really miserable to the ones closest to me, and my wife and my family, and I was lost again. And really, what prompted me to follow my passion was knowing that I would never be truly happy uh, without doing this, and that I was going to push the people that I love most away from me until I was truly happy. And what I realized living my purpose or living as an inspirational servant. I was never lost. I always knew from a child that I inspired people, and it felt good to me, and it came easy. Like I would see somebody down, and I would say something to them in class, and they would like, oh, they would start smiling, like, wow, that was easy. And so I was more afraid than I was lost. I was afraid to show what I was born to do. And I always knew it from a kid. I always knew that I had this special gift to inspire people. Happiness, I realized that I have to be happy despite others, like what others want from me. Others want me to do this and that. No, I've got to be happy within. And money versus who you are. And this is the biggest thing. So many times I let money get in the way of chasing who I am. But I don't care how much money you have. If you're not doing what you were born to do or what you're passionate about, it just destroys your inner self, and you're going to have to use something to forget about that emptiness. And I'm an inspirational servant. That's who I am. That's exactly what I do. That's exactly who I am. I'm just sure of that now. Life is so simple. I answer the following question: all the opportunities that still come my way, and they do. Does the opportunity use my gifts to inspire hope, faith, and greatness throughout the world? If it does, I'm all over it. If it doesn't, I politely say no, and it's easy for me to say no. See, I was scared to say no. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I can clearly say to him, look, I will not be of great service of you if I'm not doing what comes easy to me and what makes me happy and makes other happy. Very simple. Now you're saying, well, why this popcorn show? Why is it important for business? Well, it's important for business for two reasons. Number one, when everything's going right. See, people think, what I mean by that is, I'm talking about all your bills are paid, you're profitable, you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, millions. You can't buy a bigger TV. Everything's paid for. And you're running a business and you're looking back and your employees are running it. You don't have to go to work every day. Everything is going right. You better know why you're there. Because if you look back and you say to yourself, oh my gosh, I've got this multi-million-dollar company and I can't stand what I'm doing. And see, I find myself in a dangerous position being in that and looking back at that. I didn't like the companies we were reselling for, didn't share the same values. I didn't like the industry that we were in and how I was filling that industry with my business. I did like certain aspects of the business, but I wasn't passionate about it. And really, that was the downfall of my first business because all I wanted to do was get away from it. I didn't want to build it anymore. I just wanted to get away from it because I wasn't passionate. And see, what happened is that I was so busy building the business, I didn't realize how empty the business would be. So when everything is going right, you've got to know that you're passionate about this and you're in the right business, or you're going to waste your money, or you're going to get in more trouble than you were if you just started the business, because now you have a lot more responsibilities when you have a multi-million-dollar company. And when everything is going wrong, I'm talking about when everything's going wrong, you don't have a dime in the bank account and payroll's due Friday and you Monday, you better be passionate about what you're doing to keep going. You know, really, you're going to stick through the good and bad times when you're passionate. See, when you're not passionate about something, when things go bad, you find yourself finding another career and getting into that same hamster race. I'm saying when you're passionate about something, you're going to stick it through whether you have 100,000 in the bank account or you don't have a dime in the bank account. I want to talk about, you never know who's watching. And my daughter had to write to her parents during her 8th grade graduation. By the way, I don't know about you. Don't they have graduation every year now? I hear 3rd grade graduation, 6th grade, 8th grade, senior. Anyways, I'm running. But she wrote this letter to me, and I just took a snippet out of it. I am very inspired that you are courageous enough to do what you want in life and that you don't care what anybody thinks or says. I'm going to tell you something. When my daughter wrote this, I was in transition of discovering what I wanted to do to bring in income to the house. I knew that I could build a multi-million-dollar business. I've done it a couple times. And I was like, you know, and through the pressure of discovering that, I've had a lot of people give up on me or didn't believe in me. And my daughter wrote this. You know, I think she was 12 at the time. And it really taught me something that day, saying, Jose, you don't tell your daughter to be great. You live a great life. You go after your dreams and give her the inspiration that she will need when she hits challenging times chasing her dreams. The last thing, it's never too late or too early. Think about KFC. KFC, he was in the 60s when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. So it's never too late or too early. My daughter asked me with 10 years old, does she have to run a cell phone business? That was the first business that I ever ran. I said, no, you don't, sweetie. You don't have to run a cell phone business. She was like, thank you very much, Dad. I didn't really want to do that. It's never too late or too early to start thinking about what you're passionate about. Here's our contact information, www.sedcosupports.org. Please, go online, register with us. We also have pop-up workshops where we'll actually do a workshop to help you discover your popcorn trail. We have worksheets. You want more information on discovering your popcorn trail, you can email me at jv@sedcosupports.org. And I just want to thank you very much for sharing your time with Sedco today. I know it's very valuable, and we look forward to helping you grow your business and improve communities through entrepreneurship. Have a great day.